Hi folks, and hello to the people of Japan. Currently in Japan, there's a radio talk show host from the United States, from here in the Dallas area. And he's with the United States Marine Corps, traveling with them as they're delivering supplies and helping out the victims of the earthquake tsunami. And during this time, he's interviewing Marine Corps helicopter pilots and officers. And they continually tell a story on the unselfishness of the Japanese people during this horrific time. The Marines were there the very next day after the tragedy hit. And the Marines are saying that this is our home because their bases are in Japan. And when this is all over with, they don't go to the United States. They go back to their homes in Japan. So when they're helping their fellow Japanese citizens out, they're helping their home out, they say. But they relate a few stories, that when a helicopter would land in an afflicted area that was isolated with no bridges, no highways, no railroad, they were isolated to people, and the helicopter pilots and crew were unloading water. Well, the Japanese people just took what they need and told them, keep the rest on your helicopter and give it to others who need it. What an unselfish act. We did not see that in other tragedies in other parts of the world, now did we? They landed again in another area, and they unloaded water, and they were about to unload clothing. And once again, the unselfish Japanese people said to them, we do not need this clothing, thank you. Please bring it to another area where the clothing is needed. That's unselfishness. That's the culture. That's rooted in their DNA. You know, we've seen tragedies in other countries where people behave like savages afterwards. The Neanderthal came out in them. It just doesn't exist. Are the Japanese descended from the same people the rest of us are? Beginning to question that Adam and Eve story. I'm going to show you a clip now. I hope you enjoy it. That was from a friend in Japan who, with his permission, I was able to use the clip. I have a link in the description to his website. He has some very interesting videos. I suggest you watch them and enjoy them. But let me tell you something about the tragedy in Japan. You have set the marker for future victims of tragedies to live up to. In the future, when a tragedy befalls upon a people, a culture, or a society, they should say to themselves and to each other, we need to behave like the Japanese did. And if they do not behave as such, if they revert back to their Neanderthal ways, then the world will be asking, how come they're not behaving like the Japanese did? Much like we asked at the beginning of this tragedy, how come there's no looting in Japan? And now we know why. And in the future, like I said earlier, we'll be asking, how come they're not behaving like the Japanese did? All right, folks. We'll see you. God bless you. God bless America. And God bless the nation you happen to be in. And God please be with the people of Japan during this time. We'll see you.